So my testimony begins when I dedicated my life to the Lord. I knew that I would be a work in progress. I knew that there were things in my life that I needed to get rid of, and that by having a relationship with God, He would just show me those things. And as we moved forward, I wanted to grow closer and closer to Him. I had no idea the things that I would go through, that He would walk me through. So my husband and I, we decided that we would adopt a child through DHS. We had this little boy for 3.5 years, and the court came back and decided to give him back to his father. When he left, I knew that he would be back. I had prayed on him, I had trusted God, and people would say, well, I hope he comes back. And I would be like, no, he's coming back. I don't know how long it'll be, but he'll be back. So a year later rolls around. Not only did he come back, but we got his infant brother also. And so now we have 2 little boys. But my journey doesn't end there. A year later, after he came back, I was diagnosed with cancer. And when I was diagnosed, I knew I had a choice. I could either choose to trust God and believe that He would pull me through this, or I could choose to turn away. And I chose to trust God. I thought, you know what? It's going to be okay. God's got this. Little did I know all the things I would have to go through on that journey. Not only did I complete chemo and radiation, as soon as a week later, I was put in the hospital. They drained 8 pounds of fluid off my chest, and I was in congestive heart failure. And nurses would come in, and they would just tell me, honey, you're going to be okay. And I'd be like, I know, God's got this, you know. And then when my faith would run low, I never forgot a nurse come in, and she shared her testimony with me, and it was incredible. It was similar to mine, and I was like, wow. And she goes, sometimes God has to put us on the edge of desperate to draw us closer to Him. And that has really stuck with me, that, you know, He's always there for us. No matter how desperate we are, how close we are to falling off that cliff, He's going to catch us. I was in congestive heart failure. They decided that the best option would be to place a stent. And I remember laying on the table. And you're awake when they do that. I don't know if many people know that, but I remember thinking, okay, God, this is going to be okay. And then I got anxious, and I was like, I need something. And I asked the nurse, I said, do you have K-Love on the radio? And she goes, I think we can pick that up. And so K-Love came on, and immediately I just got this peace, and I thought, you know what, it's going to be okay. And I was just praying. And so I'm watching the first balloon goes in. It didn't work. The second balloon goes in. It didn't work. The third balloon goes in. It didn't work. And the doctor looks at me and he goes, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm praying for you. And he goes, I need prayer. And at that moment, God said, change the way you pray. Pray that I open those vessels. The fourth balloon went through. The fourth balloon went, and it didn't go through. The fifth balloon was going through, and the doctor goes, oh my God, where'd it go? And I was like, okay, God, I know you're still here, and I know you're still in control. And he goes, oh, there it is. And it went, and they placed the stent. There is no other way that could have happened than by the grace of God. I have to go in and remove the tumor that's still in my body. And I had prayed long and hard. I was like, God, what do you want me to do about this? I know it's dead. I know that there's no active cancer cells in my body. What do you want me to do? And it was just like God was telling me, go ahead and have it removed. And so I went through that surgery, had that on Monday. 3 days later, I had hernia surgery. Nobody could have ever prepared me for that. 2 surgeries in 1 week. But you know what? God had it. He pulled me through it. And he'll pull you through anything. But you have to trust Him. You have to just completely just say, you know what, God? Whatever the outcome, I know it's going to be okay. At one point in my journey, I'm sitting there in the hospital room and my husband's there, and I just look at his face, and he just looks like a lost little boy, and I could see that he's really scared. And I looked at him, and I reached over and I grabbed his hand, and I said, you know what? We're going to pray about this, because I said, are you scared? And he goes, yeah, I'm scared. And And I said, you know what, it's going to be okay, because even if I leave this world today, and that's God's will, He's going to give you the strength to get through this and raise these boys. But God pulled me through, and I am forever grateful, and there is no one that can tell me that God is not real. My name is Janette, and I am not alone.